Corner, Real Talk Corner.
Real Entertainment Network.
Iron Reese. The talk is still real. We still on the corner. We gonna touch on some topics.
SKN, we got topics. Let's have a discussion. The people got questions. The people want answers. Yeah, we got topics. Let's have a discussion. The people got questions. The people want answers. Yeah, it's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. Real talk. It's real talking. Real talking.
Iron Reese.
Dynamic duo.
Talk is still real. We still on the corner.
Real Talk
We
Corner.
gonna touch on some topics.
It's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. Real talk. It's real talking. Real talking.
Check it out. You know, in tune.
My daddy made this beat.
Yo.
Yo.
Live and ready. Direct.
Not a week.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing? How you been?
I'm well. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Took a week off. That was like the first time that we've had Real Talk Corner, and I was not a part of it, So I appreciate the topics for filling in, for me last week. So big up to the
Yeah,
topics.
man.
Tomorrow night is the topics, so tune into the topics. China Wallen, Alan Powell. But that's last week. What we have this week, Reese. How are you doing?
I got, I have no reason to complain, I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and until it's my time to go, I'll be living my best lives without a doubt. But I've been great, man. I've been great. But tonight we're gonna speak about Culturama. Recently came out that we'll be having Culturama 47,
Okay.
and tonight we have Abonaty, the executive director of the Culturama committee. So he's going to be here with us, and he's going to be laying out everything for us so that we could understand what is actually going to be happening for Culturama. What are we looking at? What should we expect going into the Culturama season?
Yeah. And should be interesting, with the new times that we're in. So anyway, let's not hold it up any much longer. We're a bit late, so let's go ahead and bring Abonaty on screen. All right. Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
Good evening, Ira and Reese.
What's
It's
up?
good to be on your platform. I mean, I've been monitoring you guys for weeks and months and probably years and wondering when you're going to offer me this opportunity.
I don't even.
But tonight I have that opportunity.
Better late than
You are
never,
here,
right?
you're right.
Better late
You
than
are
never.
here.
Better late than never, Reese. Better late than never.
All right. So,
Hey.
Abonaty, we're gonna be talking about Culturama, but we have Abonaty, the man himself, who is actually involved with a lot more than Culturama. So let's get a background on Abonaty and also your position. What do you do really? What's your title when it comes to Culturama, and what does that job entail, or your job description, more like?
Well, I'm the executive director of Culturama here in Nevis. I've been the executive director since the 1st of September 1998.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually in that job now for almost 22 years. In 2017, I became the chairman of Culturama for the second time, because when I came to Culturama in 1998, in celebration of the 25th anniversary of Culturama in 1999, I happened to chair to have chaired the Culturama Committee in 1999 for the 25th anniversary. And in 2017, I was reinstated as the chairman of Culturama again. So it's been a long run for me. Prior to Culturama, taught from 16 and secondary school. I taught agricultural science, and I would have gone away to Trinidad and I would have done some studies in agriculture at the Eastern Caribbean Institute of Agriculture and Forestry in Trinidad, and then I returned to Nevis and continued my tenure as a teacher at the Gingerland Secondary School. So I've been around in education and in the Ministry of Culture. And I just want to inject a little joke here. In 1998, when I went to Culturama, I remember then Minister in the Nevis Island Administration, the Honorable Joseph Parry, he was not the Premier at that time, in the House debating whether or not it was a wise move for the government at that time to move me from education into culture. And he said, imagine, all they did was to chop off the agri and just left him with culture. And that was a joke on me for some time. And whenever Mr. Parry and I often meet up, I will remind him of that statement he made in the parliament at that time. So yes, I've been around for some time. I've been involved in church. A member of the Anglican Church. I have done just about anything and everything in Nevis. I sang Calypso in 1992. I sang Calypso in 92, 93, 94. I would have made it to the Culturama Calypso finals on those 3 occasions. In 1993, I missed out on being crowned Calypso King. I was defeated by King Bingi, and many persons thought at that time that I should have won King Bingi. And I can recall that a good friend of mine from Rollins Village, Anthony Hack Brown, he met me sometime after the show and he said, "You are the uncrowned king of Calypso." And so from that time until now, there are some persons that have referred to me as the uncrowned king. Abonaty, the uncrowned king. In fact, this and that, whenever he greets me, he always refers to me as the uncrowned. So he himself feels that I should have been the king of Calypso in 1993. I also would have served on the Nevis Culturama Committee before going to the Secretariat in 1998. I would have served on the Junior Calypso Committee alongside Alberic Manners. We would have organized the Junior Calypso competition in 1997. I would have chaired the Senior Calypso subcommittee. I also would have played in bands. I played with the Casanova Band, and in fact, in 1989, while I was a member of the Casanova Band, we are the one who introduced the long jam. So I made history in 1989, of being a member of the Casanova Band, starting from Market Shop and going right into Charlestown in 1999. We would have started the long jam. I would have also played keyboard with the Casanova Band at the Calypso competition. So I've been around in culture for a very, very long time. So in a nutshell, that's Abonaty.
So Abonaty, as the executive director of Culturama, what do you do? I mean, Culturama is once a year, but this is a year-round job, right?
Yes, it is a year-round job. But let me take you through the ins and outs of what happens in the Secretariat. Once Culturama finishes in the first week of August, we then have to go into writing reports, getting the financial statements in place, getting the bills paid, and getting the subcommittees to pen their reports, compile one report, send it into the ministry for evaluation. We then have to get the financial statements in place, send it up to the Ministry of Finance for verification. They would check and see that the statements are in order. And of course, the biggest headache of Culturama, getting the bills paid. Sometimes once Culturama is over, you do not see the cash in order to settle the bills. And so that will take us right down probably towards the end of the year, having to sign all those checks. And of course, in between that, having to organize that prize giving ceremony. And then from the time January comes around, you have to start thinking about planning the upcoming festival. So you begin to look for contestants, you begin to look for slogans, you begin to look for patrons of the festival, and you begin to look for sponsorship. So although Culturama is a one-time-a-year event, there are lots of things that are involved all year round in terms of what people see, in terms of the finishing product. It takes a whole year of planning and putting things in place to make sure that the upcoming festival, it is something that persons would enjoy and that persons would be satisfied with.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's interesting that you spoke about paying the bills, because I know it's always an issue on social media. Social media, and I don't want you to feel blindsided, but it's also an issue on social media that bands complain about not being paid. But I guess you kind of explain why. So I mean, are you saying Culturama is not profitable?
No, we see Culturama as a stimulus package for the economy. And if I'm to highlight some of the importance of Culturama, it's not about making money for the Culturama committee or for the government. Culturama provides some much needed economic relief to the island at a time of the year, July, August, when the tourism sector and by extension the island's economy is at its lowest.
Yeah.
You know that around that time there are no cruise ships coming, there are no tourists coming. That is when the hotels, the Four Seasons, the whoever else would choose to close to do renovations. So it's a time when hotel workers are out of work, and so having Culturama at that time of the year is like a stimulus package to the economy. You find there are a number of spin-offs. There are a number of spin-offs. The spin-offs are endless. Cultural practitioners like the people who do masquerades, clowns, they get a chance to make some money. Musicians, the bands, the Odysseys, the Casanovas, the Poors, they make money. Music producers, whoever they are, people who do music for the soca artists, for the calypsonians, they get a chance to make some money. The artists themselves, the calypsonians, the craft vendors, food vendors, the hotels that remain open, the guest houses, the restaurants, the supermarkets, the bar shops, the grocery shops, the beauty salons. Because Reese, you would notice that when you lived in Nevis, Queen Show Sunday, I mean, you have to be spending a lot of money. All those girls that you have Reese, they will come. Reese, I want me hair do, I want me nails do.
Right.
I have to go and buy a dress for the Queen Show. Reese, you know how that go. And so, the beauty salons, the clothing stores, the car rentals, the ferry operators, taxi operators, they make money. And so it's not about we making money. It's about providing something in the economy for these people to make some money. Now, Culturama costs the Culturama committee anywhere in the region of 1.9 to $2 million. There's no way we are able to recover that with gate receipts and sponsorship. And so the government has to provide, make up for the pitfalls or for the shortcomings. And so we have to go back to the government once we have done all of our financial statements. we have to go back to the government and we have to ask the Ministry of Finance to do a reallocation of funds from some other ministry or some other head to put some monies in the kitty, to put some monies in the coffers so that we can pay the Culturama bill. So it's not an easy task. Each time, Culturama never makes a profit. Never makes a profit. I mean, there are some costs. And for example, and let me forget about Nevis for now. I remember listening to an interview from the chairman of Carnival in Trinidad. And Carnival in Trinidad cost the government there about between $4 and $5 million. And
wait, hold on.
The
US
Trinidad and Tobago dollars. And you know that Carnival in Trinidad is the biggest thing on planet Earth probably. And he was saying in that interview that they do not recover that $4.55 million that they have to expend on Trinidad Carnival. But it's more about the influx of people into Trinidad and the spin-offs in the economy. And so as a government, whichever government is in office, we really cater for the vendors, the event promoters, people organizing fringe events like Richard's Promotions, like the guys who did Goffet. It's a chance for them to make some money and not really about the government and the cultural community.
But about if Trinidad Carnival costs 4 or 5 TNT, TTD, that's about 1.5 million EC dollars. That's the same what we're spending for culture.
Well, probably thinking of it now. Probably it's US dollars he's talking about. Okay. But I remember the figure of between $4 and $4.5 million. But probably it's US dollars. To think of it now, it has to be US dollars.
Okay. So just give us an idea. You know, we don't want to stay too much on it. But what kind of hole, in terms of deficit, is Culturama left in after? Do we not make any money at all? Between
$700,000 and $800,000, $900,000 is what the government would have to put in at the end.
Okay.
All right.
You're saying the government should just budget that out each year then to give Culturama the money?
Yes, but you see, and I'm gonna tell you something now. Every year, the budget for Culturama initially is just $300,000. Now, $300,000 realistically, that is just startup funds. Mm-hmm. That is just startup funds, and then when we add another $300,000 from our sponsors, $350,000 from our sponsors, it brings it up to about $650,000, and then the government has to put in an additional $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 to cover the bill.
Okay.
So it's really it's a very expensive undertaking. And I'm one of the persons who feel that the cultural practitioners, the people who help to keep our culture alive, they should be compensated well. I do not believe in paying our cultural practitioners small bits of money to keep our culture alive.
Okay.
I believe that the cultural practitioners, they should be well paid.
Understand.
All right. All right. So, Abo, as we have seen, we'll be having a scaled down version of Culturama this year. Can you let us know what is going to be a part of Culturama that is planned for 2021 Culturama 47?
Okay. Well, Race Culturama 47, we have styled it to be a COVID compliant festival. And so by the styling, COVID compliant, that we will be adhering to all of the COVID-19 regulations that have been put in place by the NEOC, the task force of Sinkis and Nevis. And so when we talk about a COVID compliant festival, what are we talking about? We are talking about the enforcement of the COVID-19 protocols, all of them. Face mask, hand sanitizing, social distancing, the whole works. We don't have to go through them. You know what they are. We are talking about an 8-day festival instead of a 13-day festival. Reduced number of stage events. We are talking about being COVID compliant, no large gatherings, no events that would have large gathering. So no street activities, no juve, no parade, no events such as the wet fetes and the off fetes that would attract large gatherings. When we met with the task force and syndicates, we were told that we would only be allowed a limited live audience. And that limited live audience for now is in accordance with the existing SRNO, statutory rules and orders, where small events, the maximum number of persons that are allowed at small events, 50. Medium events, 100. Large events, 150. Now, within that 150, we have to factor in the technicians, the judges, the cultural committee members, the volunteers, the contestants, the bandmen. And so when we make a count, we would only be allowed paying patrons about 70 or maybe 80 persons. And so because of that, this year we are going to be instituting pay-per-view live streaming of the events. And so persons can stay at home, persons like Reese, like Ira, in the diaspora who cannot travel to Nevis, because I know man like Reese wouldn't want to come to Nevis and have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. And so you can stay in the comfort of your homes wherever you are and log on for minimal fee. And when I say minimal, I mean minimal. Minimal. It's going to be a very affordable. As a matter of fact, persons on Nevis who want to come to be at the show live, if they stay at home and pay the fee, they'll pay less than coming to the cultural complex and paying to come to the event. So we are trying to make it as affordable because we realize that these are harsh economic times. Number of persons are saying, well, festivals around the region now, they stream the events free of cost, but Culturama has been streamed free of cost for many years. Many years. Sugar Mass was streamed free in December. But in conversation with the chairman, the chairwoman, the chairlady of Carnival, a week ago, the chairlady said about that was just for marketing purposes. This year for Sugar Mass 50, we are going to be going to pay-per-view. We cannot afford to expend those large sums of money for free streaming and not recover anything from the streaming. And so we, Culturama, we are like trendsetters. We are like trendsetters. So we are going to be in the pay-per-view. I'm sure that a number of persons throughout the region will be looking at our model to see how they could piggyback on our model and get their festivals back on target, maybe later this year or next year. We'll also be having no ticket sales at the venues because you cannot have an accumulation of people at the ticket booths. You know the long lines we have at the ticket booths. And so what we're going to do, persons wanting to go to the event will have to come to the secretariat and purchase a ticket there or go online. Because for the purpose of contact tracing, every single person purchasing a ticket, their names must be recorded, their contact information. So in the event there's an outbreak of the coronavirus, we can trace. So Reese, if you want to book a ticket for Janice, you can give us your name. You have to give us Janice's name, and so we can know that Reese, your books in a ticket for Janice.
Boy, boy. The good days, eh? The good days, boy. The good days. Ah, boy.
Okay, and so that single ticket outlet will be the Culturama Secretariat. We'll be having no VIP, no VIP, and we are going to be setting maximum run time for our shows, 4 hours. So we're going to start our shows at 8, and by midnight we expect them to be over. And we are going to be using cues where we could enforce physical distancing. And so the 2 main venues for Culturama this year are going to be the Cultural Complex and the David Freeman Center of Excellence. We are going to be using the Cultural Village for one event for now, and that is going to be, when we get into the program, I will tell you what that one event would be. And so, in terms of the activities now that Reese, you spoke about, the pre-activities for Culturama begin on June the 26th and run until July the 24th. And the actual official activities would begin on July the 27th, Tuesday, July the 27th, and run until Tuesday, July the 3rd, or Tuesday, August the 3rd. And so in terms now of the activities that we will be having for Culturama this year, we are going to start the pre-activities with the Calypso tents and the Soca Monarch tents. And so the Calypso tents are going to open on Friday, on Saturday, June the 26th. Saturday, June the 26th, we are going to have the opening of the Senior Calypso tents, and that is going to be at the David Freeman Center of Excellence in Gingerland. We will have another Calypso, we'll have a Soca Monarch tent at the David Freeman Center of Excellence on Saturday, July the 10th. And then on Sunday, July the 18th, at the David Freeman Center of Excellence, we'll have the Senior Calypso Eliminations. And then on Saturday, July the 24th, at the Cultural Complex, we will have the Soca Monarch semifinals. And so now, in terms of the official events for Culturama, as I said, we are going to begin on Tuesday, July the 27th, when we'll have the official opening ceremony for the festival. At that opening ceremony, we are going to be showcasing the folklore of Nevis. So we are going to have all of our folklore groups. We are going to have our steel bands. We are going to have our string bands, our big drum, the masquerades. It's going to be a whole cultural affair at the Cultural Complex. We'll be honoring our patron. We'll be honoring our slogan winner. We'll be having brief remarks by myself, the Minister of Culture, and the declaration when we will open the festival. And thereafter, to go right up until midnight, we are going to be having a live band that will be doing some performances. And then the following evening, on Wednesday, July the 28th. Now, over the years, we have partnered with Diane Hobson and the Rhythms Dance Group. And they have always, traditionally, they have put on a dance production at the Nevis Performing Arts Center. And so we are going to be having that on the Wednesday evening. And then on Thursday, July the 29th, we'll be having an event that will be dubbed a Night of Steel. And don't misinterpret the term steel. It's going to be a night of steel pan music. And so don't let your mind get carried away, Reese.
You had me.
Open your case.
We have some 7 steel bands that are going to be competing from Nevis in that event. and we'll be inviting 2 steel bands from St. Kitts to be a part of that competition. Let me give you some insights into that competition. The songs, each band would play one song, but that one song must be a Culturama song. We don't want to be having a competition for Culturama and you're playing a song from Antigua or a song from St. Thomas or a song from Trinidad. It must be a Culturama song. And so we want people to go back in the archives, Culturama long ago. And we want the steel pans to be playing songs like Let It Come If They Want to Come, or a Fat People Party, or a Caution. Those songs, bring back those songs to life. Or they could play a modern song like a Lovely Festival by Miko and Deli. But we want the songs that are being played at the competition to be Culturama songs, right? Because we are having Nevis Culturama Festival. And so we want everything to be Nevis. And then on Friday, the following day, on Friday, July the 30th, we will be having the Soca Monarch Finals. In that Soca Monarch Finals, we're going to be having 8 persons competing in the groovy category and 8 persons competing in the power category. Then on Saturday, we will not be having the traditional food fair. You know that the food fair attracts a number of persons, large crowd. And so we have partnered with the Ministry of Tourism, and they will be having an event at the Heritage Village in Fottergills, that is in Gingerland. That event would be dubbed, that entire day actually will be dubbed Heritage Day, and we'll be encouraging persons and navies to be patriotic. So we would want persons to wear heritage, to dress up in heritage clothing, the national dress, the national colors. And we would want persons to come on out to the Heritage Village and enjoy what the Ministry of Tourism, in collaboration with the Culturama Committee, would be having there. So let me give you some insights into what will be happening at the Heritage Village on that day. We'll be having, of course, cultural performances because we're having Culturama. And so we want to showcase our local folklore. We want to showcase again our local. We cannot have such a rich culture existing at Nevis and not use every opportunity that is afforded to us. We cannot afford not to showcase our masquerades, our clowns, our Johnny Walker, our Sweet Lemon, our Japanese girls. We must utilize every opportunity to showcase them. Our string bands, our steel bands. We must use every opportunity to have persons cook and sell local foods. So we're going to be having cassava bread, cassava musa, kanki. We'll be having demonstrations showing persons how to make these foods, because there are a number of persons don't know how to make, and niggas don't know how cassava bread is made, how cassava musa is made. Maybe even sugar cake. Some young people like Ira probably never even see how sugar cake is made. And so we want to have those type of demonstrations. We will be re-establishing a rum still at the Heritage Village. Now, when the Heritage Village was opened, I can't recall when, probably in the early 2000s.
2006.
2006, a rum distillery, a rum still, as we call it, was set up at the Heritage Village. And we had someone come there and we did a demonstration of how Mountain Dew is made. We will be approaching the police. As a matter of fact, I've already indicated to Commissioner Brandy that we'll be coming to him to get the necessary permission. I've already spoken to a gentleman who has consented to set up the rum still. He's supposed to be giving me the list of materials soon. He also has consented to come and do the demonstration. So people who do not know how Mountain Dew or Hammond is brewed can have a live demonstration that day. The boiling of Hammond is part of our cultural heritage. We cannot afford for things like those to die. I mean, you hear now some guys with the formula, green formula, red formula, apple something, and this and that. But they are only consuming the end product. They don't know how the whole thing from the start is done. And so we are going to be doing that demonstration. While at the Heritage Village, persons can see artifacts being that are on display there. An old pit latrine. You young guys, you all never use a pit latrine yet. Never in your life.
A pitch
Reese,
latrine?
you can't tell me
Outdoor type
that
thing?
you never use a pit latrine.
I never used one. But
Ira, you are just about 22. Don't tell me that you ever use a pit latrine. Never.
No,
Never.
I never use it.
I've used the pit latrine before. I've definitely.
You never bathe your skin outside it. The two of you guys have bathed your skin in
I used to go
fancy
to the
tile
beach all the time.
bathrooms.
I like being outside.
And
Continue.
so we have at the Heritage Village, you have those things: pit latrine, outside shower. We have thatch bed, a grass bed. Long ago, when you're sleeping, man, all kind of bug biting you when you sleep on a grass bed. We have a house built, and we have those type of things inside here. We have the goose. We have a monkey. And anyhow, you, Ira or Reese, could tell me what a monkey is. I'm gonna MoneyGram $100 to each of y'all tomorrow. Where's the monkey?
I have no idea what that is.
Now, long ago, our forefathers never had a fridge. So when they want a drink of cold water or cool water, they can't go in the fridge like we do now. And so it's a clay pot. It's a clay pot
That used to bury.
that when you put your water inside of it, it keeps it cool and fresh. So when our great grandfathers come out from the land and you want a cool, refreshing drink of water, you go to the monkey, you pour out a glass of water and you drink it, a cup or whatever. So we have all of those artifacts at the Heritage Village that are going to be on display during that day. So it's going to be an educational day. It's going to be an entertaining day.
Unfortunately,
And then in the evening,
experience it.
hello?
Go ahead.
And then in the evening, we have the Senior Calypso Finals at the Cultural Complex. In fact, going back to the event in the day at the Heritage Village, at 7:30 in the morning, we will be serving a traditional Nivijan style breakfast from 7 until around 10 o'clock in the morning. So you can come and get your Johnny cake, saltfish, roast potato, roast sprat, roast breadfruit. These are the things that our forefathers used to have for breakfast. And we'll be having, those foods being served throughout the day. Then let us fast forward to Sunday, August the 1st. Now this year, we will not be having a Miss Culture Queen pageant. Now, when we got the permission from the task force to have a Culturama festival, the time was a little bit too short for us to go and look for contestants. You know that them girls want to look sharp. They want to be able to fit in the bathroom without any cellulites. So that when they come front stage, fellas like Reese putting on his binoculars to make sure that, to see which one I can target after the show. So we could not attract the caliber of contestants that we want for a queen show.
But
We decided to
Abo,
go with the Miss Culture swimwear and
but
talk to me.
Abo, I mean, I could have. I mean, what of you would have probably had the idea that you wanted to keep Culturama. You could have looked the girls them, and if it fall through, you fall through. If you not fall through, you not fall through. But I think every year we always have a problem finding girls for Culturama anyway, women,
Always,
women.
always.
So I don't think it's necessarily that we didn't have shot.
Well, it's a combination of that
Yeah, it's
and
been a
a
problem.
combination of that and the struggles that we have with selecting young ladies for that event. And another factor as well is sponsorship. We know that many of the businesses were closed this time, so last year they were closed, no money making, and a number of our sponsors have already said to us about it doesn't make any sense coming to us this year. We can't help you. We have struggled throughout the year. We have had to do layoffs. We have had to do cutbacks, and so we were kind of mindful of that too. And when we look at the gate receipts,